Hello and welcome to Scott's Garage. Today, new project day. So we've been working on some kind of simple projects. The clock made out of a saw blade and some clipboards. Those are pretty straightforward, even though the clipboard did sort of evolve into multi-part. But they were pretty simple, straightforward projects. Today, I want to embark on a more difficult project. I was watching an interview with the actor John Turturro, great actor, love him and everything. And I was watching him, and they asked him how he picks roles to take, and he said that he picks roles based on things that when he reads the script, he doesn't think he can do the role. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. Those are the ones that he wants because those expand his skill set and his acting talents. So it pushes his envelope a little bit, I guess you call it. So along those same lines, I am going to start a project today that I'm not sure that I can do it. It's pretty tough. What it is, it's a stool right here, and I'll show you a better picture of it here. It's a stool, and it has like four legs, a base, maybe like a step here. The seat is out of cane webbing, which I ordered, and it looks pretty difficult. If you look at the cross section of the legs right here, they're pretty detailed. That's a lot of cuts. Maybe it's easy for somebody with a really elaborate shop or maybe a CNC mill or something, somebody that does this kind of thing all the time. But for me, my simple shop with basic tools, to do all these different setups, it's going to be a challenge. So this is going to be a challenge. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Um, but the reason that I'm making this is I've had this old stool, which I'll show you a picture of it, for I don't know, decades, and it actually works really great. It's just about the right size. I can cut on it. I can pound on it with a hammer. I can do everything to it, and it works really good. But it's kind of ugly, and it's simple. It's basic, and I thought maybe it's time for a little bit of an upgrade in the shop for a nicer stool. So don't know if I'm going to use it. I may go back to this old one, but we're going to make this one. We're going to see how it works, and maybe it'll be the new Scott's Garage shop stool, which gets a lot of use. And so I'm going to start on this project. I know it's going to be difficult, but of course, oh, and this is just to give you, this is from the volume 45, number 269 of Woodsmith magazine. And of course, they give me a little dig here when in the very beginning, they say here, a rather rudimentary design. They always have to do that, don't they? Like, tell me it's a beginner project or it's really easy or something like that. And I'm like sweating it, going, how the hell am I ever going to do this? So I don't know, whatever. It's rudimentary design to them. It looks pretty complicated to me. So we're going to, oh, so in my experience in life, been alive for a long time, whenever I have a big complicated project, what I try to do is break it down into smaller pieces, smaller manageable pieces, like eating the elephant, right? Just a little small piece at a time. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, is try to break down this project into smaller pieces. I'm going to start with a little foot disc that goes on there. What do they call it? Forget, a stretcher ring. They call it a stretcher ring. I'll call it a foot circle. We're going to start with that. It's right here, and it should be pretty straightforward, I hope. And I need to glue up a panel that's 16 inches square, 3/4 inch out of some hardwood. I have what I think is some white oak, which is really nice. I looked in my Goodwood book, Goodwood handbook, and I matched it up with this, which I think is pretty close to what I have. I even weighed it. I even weighed the piece and figured out what it is, per cubic foot, and weighed it, and it seems like it's about the right weight, and the grain looks about right too. So that's the first thing we're going to do. is cut these to length, maybe not 16 inches. I may give it 16 and a half. So when I'm using my jigsaw, I'm not going out to the edge, which is always a problem. I'll tell you about that. And then cut these to about 16 and a half, enough to get another 16 and a half. We'll glue those up and we'll get started on that right now. All right, so I got a little bit of a problem. This, because I want to have a 16-inch square blank. So this is 32. So if I cut it in half, it's going to be small by the width of the saw blade. But if I cut two of these and I put them on the end, sorry, hold on, trash man. Okay, so if I cut this right down the center, it's going to be a little small, smaller than 16. But if I put these two pieces on the end and then I'm making a circle, I would think that that would be okay because the circle, oh, you know what I mean. And then I'll cut the other piece at 16 and a half, two pieces for the center section, and then that'll allow me to have enough space. So this is like 4 3/4. So let's say 4 1/2. So that's 9. And then two of these at 4, which would be 8. So 9 plus 8 is 17. So I think that works. That'd give me plenty for a 16-inch blank. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this right in the middle. And I think we're going to be able to make this work. I actually did find some other pieces of wood here, but while I was doing that, I thought of this idea and I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it. And then the first cut I'm going to do is flatten this out to get that angle off of there. Man, it smells so good. It smells like, I don't know what, something. I'm going to stop the camera because I'm going to put a tarp over all the bites. All right, snap my fingers and it is done. Mark this at 16 and a half. Okay, ready? Oh, it just occurred to me what I'm smelling when I cut this. Wine barrels. Like white oak. Of course. Because my two choices here were American white oak, probably French oak. But when I cut it, and I don't know, this wouldn't be used. Why does it smell like a winery? I don't know. Or do wineries smell like this? Is it the tail wagging the dog or the dog wagging the tail? Okay, so here's my idea. So even though these are short, these two outside pieces, if I draw a circle, I think it's going to be good if I glue that panel up just like that. So let's try that. That's so weird how the smell was really, really familiar, but I couldn't place it right away. And then I was like, a winery. I get it. That's so neat. The oak smell from a winery. That is crazy. The way those memories just kind of come back. Okay, so I organize my pieces how I want them. I want them kind of like this. Oh, that's too wide. Okay, so let's move this in. What I want to do is move this into like about, fourth, 2/4, kind of like that. That's sort of my idea. Okay, so let's glue that up, and we'll put some more clamps on it. Okay, I think that's good. Now, I had a lot of glue area, so I didn't even bother with any biscuits. I think it'll be pretty strong.
Early the next morning.
It's the next day, and this has had a chance to dry overnight. So let's take the clamps off and see how it looks. All right, so we'll just kind of scrape off some of this glue and then kind of go at it with the belt sander. Oh boy, that works good. Ow! Dang, that hurt. Ah! Medic! Medic! My pinky! Ah! Ah! Boy, that wood is sharp there. Dang, so I've gone to buying these Band-Aids by the gross. Like the Cure ads. I think they stick on there the best. You know, when you're applying them in not the best situation. Dirty hands and I don't know, stuff like that. Good as new. Okay, so I put a straight edge on the corners to find the center. What I want to do is these relieved pieces, I don't want to do them here along the joint. I want to do them like 45 to the joints. I want to have my four slots. And so I'm going to go along this line. Then I found this really cool set that I had in my stuff. And it had this little circle maker. So I'm going to put the point right there and the pencil right there. And we're going to make an 8-inch circle. So let's do that now. So I made a 16-inch diameter circle with an 8-inch radius. So what I did is these are adjustable. So I put it on 8. And then if I put the center here, I don't know where I got this thing. I think maybe a garage sale or something. I don't know. And that looks pretty good. Looks close. And then the second thing I'll do is do the 4.5-inch circle in the middle. Yeah, and we'll do that as well. Looking at the plan, it looks like there's a 4.5-inch circle in the center. So what you do is you just loosen this up, and then this can use a thumb wheel. Really neat. I like it. And then I'm gonna put it at 5.5 because I have my pointer on the 1. Ah, it should be the radius. So that's 2.25. That was a dumb mistake. Thought that was kind of big. So 2.25. All right, let's try this one more time. One more time. All right. I have a feeling I'm going to be using this a lot on this project. I don't know why. Okay. So now I have to cut the outside, which I think I'll do first. And I can do this last. This is just a clearance hole. So I can do that last in case I need the center for something. And then, yeah, we'll cut this out. And then I'll mark my right here. These are going to be my slots. They're 4 1/4 deep. Okay. One, two, three, 4 1/4. Right there. And put this over. All right, and last one. And the only thing left to do now is get out the jigsaw and go to town. And then I'll have the first of the 3 pieces done. Well, there's this ring, the seat, and then the 4 legs. So I was able to get some work done off camera, just mostly with the jigsaw. I just jigsawed the outside of the circle. Then on my router table, I just had a small round over bit where I rounded over the top and the bottom. Then I cut my slots, chiseled out the end a little bit with a chisel, jigsaw, and then a little bit of kind of like that around the center part, which is just a clearance hole. I didn't quite get it perfect, but I think it's pretty good. And that's the foot. What do you call it? The step? No, what do they call it? Stretcher ring. Stretcher ring. I think that's done. Don't really think I'll finish it because I think what I'll do is glue the whole stool together and finish the whole stool as one piece, except for the caning on the seat. I'll do that after finish. But I think this part is done until I get some mating pieces to go with it, and then we will continue with our project.